Hi, my name is Macy Hicks, and I'm here to record my If I Had $1 Million speech. And here's my audience. And then I'll show my note cards real fast. There's my note cards, front and back. Okay. Did you know that 2/3 of kids who are not proficient in reading by the end of 4th grade will end up on welfare or in jail? That's 2/3, and that's according to a website called Begin to Read. So, in order to combat childhood illiteracy, you should consider donating to an organization called Reading is Fundamental, an organization that provides books to underprivileged children. After researching this topic thoroughly and learning more about this organization, I've come to realize that illiteracy is kind of an issue removed from us college-educated people. But can you imagine what it would have been like to grow up without books, without the characters that inspired you and everything that you learned from them, or to be not confident in your reading and writing skills as an adult? So today I'm going to tell you about some of the problems of childhood illiteracy, an organization that's fighting it, and the impact that you can have by donating to Reading is Fundamental. So first, let's look at childhood illiteracy. Illiteracy is an issue that affects the entire world, and it's more prevalent in the United States than you might think, and it affects all of us in some way. And the number of people illiterate in the United States is astounding. So, in a 2011 Stanford University study, it was shown that only 1/3 of 4th, 8th, and 12th graders are proficient at reading. And a large cause of this is the fact that 2/3 of children in poverty have no books in their home. And this is according to Literacy Challenges for the 21st Century and the Reading is Fundamental website. So you can see here in the graph, the proficient students are only the small red bar at the top. And if children are not reading proficiently by the end of 4th grade, they are 4 times as likely to drop out of high school, and 8,000 kids drop out of high school every day. So childhood illiteracy, as you can imagine, leads to lots of problems in adulthood and becomes a big problem for our nation. So 93 million adults are not proficient in reading, according to the National Assessment of Adult Literacy. And further, illiteracy costs our country $225 billion due to crime, government efforts, and lost taxes, according to the impact of illiteracy. So fortunately, there's an organization that's combating childhood illiteracy. Reading is Fundamental is a national nonprofit that's helping to end childhood illiteracy. It's recognized a link between book ownership and academic success. It works to distribute books to kids, and it targets disadvantaged kids that are 8 years and under, according to the Reading is Fundamental website. And it also provides learning materials to teachers and parents, and has started a program to combat when students lose reading skills over the summer. And its results have been exemplary. Reading is Fundamental has distributed over 1.8 million books in 2014, and the greatest amount of books went to Texas. And it has distributed more than 412 million books since 1966. It's also begun to fight the summer reading slide, where 80% of disadvantaged kids lose reading skills over the summer, even entire grade level amounts. But by participation in their program, 57% of participants showed gains in summer reading over the summer. So finally, there's something that you can do to help. Reading is Fundamental is a praiseworthy organization, and it needs your help. It must compete for its government funding, and it relies on non-government contributions for about half of its contributions in total, and it's a healthy nonprofit, according to the website Charity Navigator. Your contribution will make a tangible and relatable difference in the lives of children, and it will help your immediate community, As I said, the majority of the books that were distributed, or the widest amount, went to Texas in 2014, and it will help the entire nation. And further, according to the book, When Helping Hurts, How to Alleviate Poverty Without Hurting the Poor and Yourself, one of the fundamental tenets of poverty is a lack of dignity. And so helping to increase child literacy will help to increase dignity and help to break the poverty cycle that exists in the U.S. So now you know a bit about childhood illiteracy and reading is fundamental. There are a concerning number of adults in our nation that can't contribute to society because of a lack of literary skills, and this starts in childhood. So to combat this, you should consider giving to Reading is Fundamental and help to give books to underprivileged children. So please visit RIF.org to learn more about this organization that is inspiring young minds and helping to generate success. Thank you. Any questions?
Macy, why do you think the most books went to Texas?
Well, Texas is one of the states with the highest levels of literacy, along with a lot of the southern border states. And so, and we also have one of the lowest rated public school systems in the nation.
Illiteracy.
Yeah, illiteracy. And so I think that's why a lot of the books go to Texas. And we're such a large state that we're bound to have a higher amount of illiterate people too.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How has this changed your perspective?
Well, I had no idea that illiteracy was so rampant throughout the entire country. And I guess I never really stopped to think just how important it was to be literate, like as a child. And it was really staggering to learn that if kids are not reading well by the end of 4th grade, it becomes more and more discouraging for them to ever learn to read. And it's just crazy that they get through the entire public school system never becoming literate, or they drop out in high school. So I guess I'm just more aware of it now, and then whenever I have money to donate, I think I'd like to give to something like this.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
Just another question. Yeah. Is literacy getting better or worse?
I think in some of the stuff that I read, it shows that illiteracy is getting worse in the U.S. as population grows and the population changes and things like that.
How does the U.S. rank with other countries in terms of literacy?
Not very well. There are lots of other countries, Canada, Japan, places like that, that rank quite a bit above us in math and literacy skills, and I think the U.S. is ranked in the 20s in the countries that were tested.
So how old is Reading is Fundamental?
They're actually celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, so they were founded in 1966.
How does Reading is Fundamental compare to other literacy nonprofits?
Sure, so it's actually the largest literacy nonprofit in the U.S., and therefore it's pretty prevalent and gaining prevalency. I think we're good.